Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TC World 2019. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you can see, I forgot and I'm wearing a green t-shirt, but I already started recording, so I don't want to change. But that is why you see me kind of like blurry and transparent. But anyways, this is Buzzwole Garbodor Shrine 4 Expanded. You're watching this on Saturday, yeah, when I am playing in Toronto Regionals. I feel like this is probably bound to be the deck that I end up playing at the tournament. That's why you didn't see the video earlier. I didn't want to like just reveal what I was playing a few days before. Not because people would target me specifically, right? That would be a very narcissistic way to take a look at it, or to approach the situation. But I just wanted to keep it under wraps until the day of the tournament. So something like this is what I want to play. I feel like JIRACHI is such a strong card, and I've been so successful with it in standard with JIRACHI based decks. I won a league challenge undefeated with Zapdos JIRACHI, and then got top 4 at the biggest regionals this season so far with Pigarum, with JIRACHI included. And then the weekend afterwards I played the same 60 to a League Cup win. So fairly confident in JIRACHI. Its ability Stellar Wish allows you to take a look at the top 5 cards, and you grab a trainer card, you reveal it, and you put it into your hand, and then JIRACHI goes to sleep. So I really like the synergy with JIRACHI and just accelerating yourself. Yeah, starting JIRACHI is so good. Using JIRACHI at any point in the game is really good, and sometimes you're like one piece away from winning the game, and JIRACHI can give you that little bit of extra dig into the deck in order to get it. Now the main players of course are Buzzwole, an Ultra Beast on 130 HP. The attack Sledgehammer deals 30 damage, and if your opponent has exactly 4 prize cards remaining, this attack does 19 more damage. But with Diancie and Choice Bands and Strong Energies, we do have a lot of extra firepower in our arsenal. And then we have Swing Around dealing 80 damage, plus 20 more for each heads you flip. You get to flip twice. It's a very costly attack for this deck. We are focusing on the 1 energy attacks, but definitely a nice option to have. And we also have the 3/3 Trash Challenge line in order to support Buzzwole. Not only is Trash Challenge a really good attack by punishing players who play a bunch of item cards. Yeah, you deal 20 damage for each item card your opponent has in their discard pile, but it's a psychic type, and psychic typing plus fighting typing is probably the best coverage you could ask for in expanded. Psychic typing deals with the presumed Zorg counters in Lucario and Buzzwole, and then fighting type deals with the popular decks in Pigarum and Zorg. And then Trash Challenge is also pretty good against Archies because they have to go crazy with their items on turn 1, which is really awesome. And then we also have the Attack Acid Spray, which we can potentially use, but we probably won't end up using because it's very costly. For 3 energies, you get to flip a coin, and if heads, you discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, and you deal 70 damage. Now we have the 4 JIRACHI, so no Oranguru or Artillery in the list, and we have the Diancie to increase Buzzwole's damage output. Now supporters wise, I do have a wide variety, I guess. We have 3 Sycamore, 2 and 2 Cynthia, 1 Colress, 1 Teammates, and 1 Professor Kukui. The Professor Kukui has been a little bit suspect. I haven't really been able to use it effectively. Colress and Teammates are really good, and then N and Cynthia are also pretty good. And we have 2 VS Seekers to potentially reuse any of these that we need. We also have triple Ultra Ball and triple Nest Ball so that we can further set up and find the Pokemon that we need, including JIRACHI. We have 2 Escape Boards and 2 Switches to play around with JIRACHI and be able to retreat. No more Float Stones. I could end up playing Float Stones, but I feel like Switch is overall better. It also helps against potential milling strategies that try to stop you. And then we have 1 Enhanced Hammer to remove Flash Energies, 1 Field Blower to remove Focus Sashes, 1 Rescue Stretcher to recover Pokemon that we might need to keep attacking. Computer Search is our pick of choice to increase consistency. Triple Choice Band and double Escape Rope for tool cards. Triple Shrine of Punishment to increase our potential damage output. And then finally we have 4 Strong, 4 Rainbow, and 1 Beast Energy rounds out the deck. So Let's jump in the ladder. I'm very confident in this deck. Well, and I also have Special Charge as well. Special Charge should be a really good card to use in order to recover energies for the later stages in the game. Like, it's not because you need 10 energies throughout the course of the game, but it's just if you whiff energy at any given point, you could be in trouble. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation ever. Now, I assume we are up against Rayquaza, which should be a very good matchup, especially because we have Shrine of Punishment and because we have Trash Challenge Garbodor, and it's going to be really hard for them to stop their item count from going up too high, thanks to the Stormy Winds ability, which you cannot avoid using in Expanded. Now, we are going second, and we have an awful hand. I mean, it's not awful 100%, but Revive. It's not 100% awful, but Revive is awful in that deck. Why would you play Revive over Rescue Stretcher? That makes no sense. But we have no draw supporter, and this is actually not Rayquaza, so never mind. This is actually Golisopod of some sort. So you see an Acrobike. And by the way, guys, for those of you watching the video, I will be giving out 4 more codes at some point during the video. So make sure you keep watching. Yeah, make sure you keep watching. I will be giving out these 4 codes throughout the video, maybe at the end, maybe in the middle, we don't know, maybe in separate times. And it's Golisopod Rayquaza. Okay, so already 4 item cards, yeah, so as long as we are able to like get something going here, I'm feeling pretty confident. Yeah, if Choice Band was a Muscle Band, we would have knockout on this Wimpod, which is something I would love to happen. We do see the Elixir that whiffed, which is great news for us. And I would really love my opponent to end me here. I would really love it if my opponent end me right here, right now. See another Elixir. And I know though, seeing that Verse Seeker in my hand, that is why I think, oh, why am I even playing Via Seeker? Yeah, but it's hard to justify not playing Via Seeker when it's such a versatile and good card. So yeah, my opponent going crazy with the item cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 already. 9 with the Acrobike, and he's whiffed both Elixirs, I think, which is really awful luck for him. Yeah, really awful luck for him. Now he's past this threshold of him caring about items. Honestly, he never cared about the item cards. So as long as we get some sort of stabilization here, we should be good. Yeah? And imagine if that Via Seeker was a Lily instead. Yeah. Guzma probably wouldn't be too useful, but wow. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 item cards, and ends with a Cynthia. Not bad. Not bad at all. Me not killing the Wimpod might actually be good. I mean, we assume my opponent is running Floatstone, right? There's the Revive, which for some reason my opponent is running. There is the Revive. Obviously my opponent will have Guzma, so that's one bad thing about playing the Nest Ball. Yeah, because I value Trubbish obviously a lot more than Buzzwole. But unless I'm able to establish 2 Trubbishes this turn, it's not going to make much of a difference here. So we're at the mercy of our top deck. We did get a mulligan, which was nice, but we are at the mercy of our top deck. There's the Coco Prism Star. I assume my opponent's going to use the ability? Yeah. Not very patient. He's just going through his whole deck. He has 20 cards left, and it's his first turn. I wonder if we had gone first and we had Nest Balled for Trubbish, would that have stopped my opponent? Probably not, right? But we are very fortunate that my opponent wasn't able to get those 2 elixirs. I mean, he doesn't need 10 energy, right? And he very smartly decides to retreat. I don't think I can agree with him playing the Choice Band, I mean the Floatstone right there. But anyways, I should just attack here. This is not great. If I get Guzma, then I have knockout on the Ray. At least the one I already damaged. I'm gonna lose a Buzzwole, and then, I mean, I have one more turn, right? That's what I have. One more turn in order to potentially not lose. My opponent goes for the Juniper, presumably what he top decked after he VS Secret for that Cynthia. So our Trubbish survives. We are guaranteed 2 prize cards this upcoming turn. Finally an Elixir hits for my opponent. Finally, he gets the Elixir hit that he really wanted earlier on. And we'll just have to see what happens. We shall see what happens here. I mean, obviously we're gonna get KO'd more. Wow. A Guzma into Golizabud wouldn't be terrible. Right? Because my opponent is not playing TCs, right? Or you would assume he isn't. And there's the Dragon Break, barely getting a KO. And our top deck means we don't lose. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that gives us a little bit of hope. Now we're gonna deal 1 million damage to this Rayquaza. Yeah, and I get a Nest Ball to keep me in the game, which is nice. Right? And I have the Beast Energy, so I could potentially just end up going back-to-back Rays here. Treasure Launch deals 360 damage, which is a lot. I find a Switch, I find an Enhance Hammer, both very useless cards in this situation in particular. I have lost a Choice Band already. Maybe I should have attached... No, it didn't matter, right? I mean, there was no way for me to know. I do have 2 more, so I have 2... I do have 2 more to potentially do this. Wow, my opponent plays Professor Kukui, so that's just enough. That is actually just enough to KO my Garb, because he doesn't have another energy in play. Is he really just not going to attach an energy this turn? That would be very surprising. That would be very surprising. My opponent has to resort to Professor Kukui to get a KO rather than just attaching an energy. He has only 4 energy plus 3 in play, and he has 8 cards left. So we've only seen 7 energy so far. There's the 8th. Really odd. Really odd. But hey, we go into Sledgehammer turn. I don't mind that at all. I'm hoping this Sycamore will get me a lot of really good cards. And okay, so the Shrine means that now we can actually draw Diancie, and that gets us a knockout as well. Oh my gosh, yet I whiffed both of those cards. Wow. Okay, I still technically have the win. Next turn, as long as my opponent KOs the active and doesn't heal. Oh no, yeah. Because, well, he needs to not counter my Stadium. And he's already discarded Thunder Mountain, which doesn't help Rayquaza. I mean, really weird deck for my opponent for sure. If he doesn't KO the Shrine, we win. If he does KO the Shrine, then we probably end up losing. That was a really awful Sycamore though. We haven't seen a single Ultra Ball. With Ultra Ball, we would have just knocked out the Ray and basically immediately won. Right? Alavara, thank you so much for the follow, even though I'm not streaming. Even though I am not streaming. Lilies for 4, so presumably he's digging for a Stadium and or Field Blower and or Energy, but he didn't have Energy once again. Like, he's playing 4 Elixir, and I don't think he's playing a lot of Energy. Okay, so he finds the Field Blower. Ugh. That's exactly what we needed him not to find. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 energy. Okay, so to say we are in trouble would be an understatement. Oh wow, Never mind, my opponent's not even going to knock me out. Wow. Okay. The only reason we are in this game still is because of my opponent, for sure. 100%. The only reason is because of my opponent. So I'm gonna go ahead and risk a stretcher back into the deck. Yeah. So I don't want to fully commit to the card just yet. I'll go ahead and escapeboard this Trubbish. Definitely don't need to choice band that guy, right? And then I find a Flowstone, I find a choice band, I find a Jirachi, I find another Trubbish, which is probably the card I was the most worried about. And I'll go ahead and Field Blower his choice band. So I'm dealing 150, 180 plus the Shrine 190 plus the damage. So if he doesn't counter the Shrine, I win just when my turn ends. Once again with Diancie, that would have been knockout. So any Nest Ball or any Ultra Ball would have been good. I have one Nest Ball and 3 Ultra Balls left, but we're fine. Like at this point, there's no way we lose, I don't think. Just playing down a Shrine would be enough to win. Even if he Acerolas, yeah. Even if he Acerolas. Okay. So he will Acerola the Golisopod, that's fine, goes down to the other Golisopod, takes a knockout, the Ray goes down to the Shrine, that's 2 prizes, and then hopefully we find a Garb and we are good. Will we be able to finally Professor Sycamore? Oh, I guess if he does this and promotes Oranguru, we don't technically win yet, right? We don't technically win just yet. Please attack with Golisopod, my friend. There's no way he's gonna take 3 prizes before, or 4 prizes before we end up winning though. So sure, we get knocked out. I think I'm gonna promote the Jirachi. I have no interest in, and that might prompt him to promote a GX rather than the Oranguru. His only play is to promote Oranguru though, if he doesn't want to immediately lose to a Garb. And Jirachi plus Colress, not the best cards to get. He does promote Oranguru, so I do top deck N, which is fine. I will bench the Jirachi, I will attach the Rainbow, and I think I'm just gonna Sycamore again. I don't need these 2 cards, I just want to make sure I win next turn. There's the Garb, there's the Guzma, still no Ultra Wolves. Yeah, 1 is prized, but we also had Computer Search, we have Teammates. Stellar Wish for a Skateboard, and then I can Skateboard into the other Jirachi, which is nice. And so I'm not gonna evolve into the Garb, because then if he has a Guzma, it could get very annoying. Right, it could get very annoying. So I'll just keep the Computer Search in my hand, and we'll just win next turn. Yeah, it's just taking a while, but there was never any doubt that we were going to win this match. Could have played the Special Charge, not super necessary. My opponent does find a Shrine counter finally. So he's playing Thunder Mountain and Life Forest. So his deck is basically a mix of a lot of really broken cards and Revive. A lot of really broken cards and Revive. He goes for the Guzma, he will get a knockout, probably with the GX attack if he has a TC, although why would you run TC in that deck? And yeah, there's the first impression. So obviously we dealt 360 damage to our Rayquaza earlier on, so there's no way we can't KO this Golisopod GX here. And we could even Guzma KO the Zeraora at this point, but I'm just gonna go ahead and Trash Challenge for 1 million damage once again. Yeah, for 1 million damage, and there's the victory. Perfect. So yeah, I mean, obviously my opponent's deck, not the most competitive out there. Yeah, it's like Rayquaza with Golisopod and Zeraora. Definitely not an established archetype. Pure Rayquaza is definitely an established archetype. Reasons to use Golisopod in there. You already have Grass Energy, so that's decent. You get a grass type attacker, which is nice against Lycanroc, although there's not a lot of Lycanroc. I guess there is merit to using Golisopod against Magikarp and Whaler tag team. There is that. So maybe that makes it worth it. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it, but yeah. Okay. Okay, so I will call the coin flip. I lose the coin flip. And obviously we're going second, which is not terrible, right? Well, it's... oh my gosh, what a hand. It's not terrible if you start with Buzzwole, or even Jirachi, because then you can start applying pressure. But it is terrible if you start with Trubbish. It is terrible if you do start with the Trubbish Areno. And we are up against Zoroark, so even more reason to hopefully have started with Buzzwole. Now the water probably indicates Seismitoad, I'd imagine. You can see an Ultra Ball. Discarding 2 Zoroarks. Interesting. That's a very harsh discard. That is a very harsh discard. Oh, we get Let Loose. That's fine then. I honestly don't mind that Let Loose at all, purely because my hand was just not great at all. This isn't much better, right? Because I don't have Floatstone. That's the biggest issue with this hand. The fact that I don't have Floatstone. So I would need to top deck something like Buzzwole, so I could computer search for the switch and then Sycamore, hoping to find an energy to get a kill on this Zorua. Now my opponent does find Compressor, so I'm assuming he's gonna discard. If we see a supporter discard, probably assuming a Via Seeker in his hand. Okay, gets rid of Guzma, Isola, and a Cynthia. And then just passes. Okay. Ooh, that... yeah, I definitely want to play this. And I mean... I have to grab Buzzwole, right? I only have 2 switches, so it's not very likely that I will get a KO. But my opponent did discard 2 Zoroarks already. I wonder what were the other cards in his hand that he actually felt that discarding the 2 Zoroarks was the best play there. Not sure. Yeah, not too sure, but we'll take it. Yeah, we don't get a turn 1 knockout. That's fine. There is merit to running Floatstones instead, but Jirachi is just so good. I really like Jirachi. I really like Jirachi here. And it's like you have 8 good starters versus 5 bad ones, so most of the time you should be starting with a desirable card. And here's a code for you guys. Whilst my opponent's turn goes on, it's another Crimson Invasion. Currently we're in the Crimson Invasion section of my bunch of codes. Sudowoodo, that's perfectly fine. Another DC, a red card. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that, it's 1 more item card. But my opponent had no information in my hand, so that's really odd to see. And now, I mean, I had, with the Guzma, I had for sure retreats. Now, not so much. But I really can't complain, my opponent's dead drawing still. So, not much happening. Paralyzing Gaze. Flips tails, even if you've had flipped heads, what's the name? The skateboard would have still let me retreat. Yeah. And I don't find a Rainbow Energy or a switch, which is what I was hoping for. But once again, my opponent in a terrible spot here. I only have the Guzma again. So I wonder if we'll finally be able to use it. I hope so. Right? Yeah, my opponent top deck Ditto, so he's just gonna go for the Paralyzing Gaze. I don't know if I want to go after the Ditto or the Zorua. I feel like Zorua is stronger. Right? I do feel like Zorua is stronger. So not a very interactive game, of course, because my opponent is dead drawing. Right? But no fault whatsoever for taking advantage of that. It's what you have to do sometimes. Yeah, like, it happens to you and it happens to your opponent. They take the wins when it happens to you, you take the wins when it happens to them. And yeah, there's a concession. Understandably so, my opponent in a really, really difficult spot. I even had the escape board now to just retreat, even if he flipped heads with the paralysis. Yeah, with the Paralyzing Gaze, I mean. And so, we get a bunch of points there for our win. So let's move on to the next match. We have a 3-win streak. We have a 3-win streak. Okay, so whilst we look for an opponent, here's another code card. This is a Roaring Skies booster. Yeah, so apparently I have a bunch of those here as well. And okay, I will call the coin flip. I lose the coin flip once again, but it's okay as long as you start either Jirachi or Buzzwole. So I've been thinking a lot about Sycamore in Expanded, and very close to switching out Sycamore for Lily at some point. Like, the trade-off is just discarding resources can be very harsh, especially in a deck like this one. I was also debating on whether keeping the Colress was a good idea. And once again, like, starting Trubbish or Diancie, well, actually you only have 4 bad starters and 8 good ones. So 2 out of 3 games I should be starting with something that's useful. The Brooklet Heal helps me in finding a Buzzwole, which is nice. And then if my opponent hopefully fills up his bench and I can Brooklet Heal for my Buzzwole, then I'm cold resting for 6, which is not terrible, right? As mentioned, the escape board not as good as a Floatstone here. That's one of the weaknesses of the deck, but we've played 2 games and neither of them we have started with Jirachi. So we've already hit the 1 out of 3 and then 1 out of 3 twice in a row. Yeah. This is Gyarados. Is my opponent playing a standard deck and he doesn't realize he's in Expanded? Okay, so the choice band not going to be too useful. I wish I had a Kuzma right here. So I'll go ahead and attach. I think I should attach, and then I'll Colress for 3. Colress for 3 definitely better than the cards I had right there. Definitely gonna switch into the Jirachi, much better than having the Trubbish up there. That way I get a Stellar Wish of. And I can Sycamore next turn, which is great. Because I can also Brooklet Heal for the fighting. I do wake up in case I need to potentially retreat, and now I have an escape board and 1 switch left, so that could be a problem for sure. Retreating, or a difficulty in retreating, could be a thing that we struggle with right now. So we'll see. I believe I already played against this Noob Dog guy in a video. The name sounds familiar, and I believe he was playing Gyarados as well. I do believe he was playing Gyarados as well. Excuse me. What a start we had. What a horrible start we had. But not doing anything. Maybe he's away from the keyboard. AFK. Yeah. No, he was just using Brooklet Heal. And taking the time to choose and take a look. Decides to attach. We'll go ahead and beacon for sure. He starts his best starter, which has a 50% chance. We start our worst starter, twice in a row. And there's the Alola Ninetales GX. I don't mind that at all. Right? Maybe he's trying to switch and just get a knockout sooner rather than later. He goes for a switching card. Yeah, and he is. So he's gonna Battle Compressor to thin the deck even more. And then he's gonna switch to start attacking. Now, Gyarados definitely scary. Because with only... Well, he needs 4 out of 7 energy. 4 out of 7 energy in the top 7 cards in order to KO Buzzwole. Only 3 to KO Garb. And yeah, we're gonna lose our Jirachi for sure. I mean, the good thing is, he's gonna end up filling his discard with item cards. The bad thing is, we are in a lot of trouble. So 2 item cards, discarded Guzma, Nestball and Vulpix with the compressor. Goes for a VS Seeker. Oh, he's gonna Guzma, isn't he? Yep. He's going to Guzma, KO the Trubbish, I would assume. No, he's gonna go for the Buzzwole. Okay. Okay. Yeah, to say we are in trouble would be an understatement for sure. What a hand by my opponent though. What a hand by my opponent. And what a start by us. Like, Colress into 3. That's the one reason I don't like Colress, because if you start with it, you're in trouble. Oh, he only gets 1, 2. He only gets 1 energy though. That's pretty good for us. That's pretty good. He only deals 60 damage. He gets Magikarp in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in the discard pile already. So I definitely want a Brooklet heal. I don't mind. I feel like I should, yeah. No, I should grab Diancie. I don't mind the Brooklet heal being there, I don't think. No, I should have grabbed Buzzwole. That was silly. Oh, that was silly, Pablo. Should have grabbed Buzzwole because I had the strong. I was thinking, oh, it's going to be much easier to find Buzzwole off of Sycamore, but I should have just grabbed Buzzwole there. Okay, we'll just deal the extra damage, it's fine. We have special charge as well. So definitely gonna go ahead and set up another Buzzwole. And then definitely gonna go ahead and play the Shrine now. And I'll just go ahead and Sledgehammer. Dealing 90 damage. I guess he wouldn't even have knocked out Jirachi, surprisingly. The Shrine damage could be important. Like, the Ninetales GX on the bench could be the differential in this matchup. Yeah, like, the Alola Ninetales could be the reason we are able to catch up in this matchup. So any damage we get on there is gonna be super, super important. Super, super important. 2 Gyarados already set up. And obviously my opponent's going to be thinning his deck quite a bit. Every time he attacks, it's less likely for him to whiff a 1-hit KO. Especially after he uses the energy recycle system. Him losing the Ditto is good news, right? Definitely good news. And yeah, at some point, like, you have to stop caring about item cards. Interesting decision to play the Volcanion. He only gets 2 this time, and he loses. The Palpad is good, and the Stretcher is good, and the Gyarados is good as well for him to lose, or for us that he lost those. Okay, so definitely gonna promote the Buzzwole, right? Definitely gonna promote the Buzzwole. Top deck the escape board. That's fine. I can just leave that attached to the Jirachi. Definitely think I need to computer search to guarantee myself the energy here. Do I want to save the Guzma? I feel like I do want to save the Guzma, so I'm gonna Cynthia. It's one less card, but I don't need it per se. Grab the strong. Want to keep the beast for later. Get a knockout, then he activates Sledgehammer, so hopefully I can just one-shot the Gyarados. Right, which I should be able to thanks to that strong energy. So the good part here is that he didn't get too far ahead. Yeah, that's the big thing here. That is definitely the big thing. And then N will hopefully also limit the times or the Gyarados that he can continually recycle. Hopefully. So it does have a stretcher, does put back resources. Double stretcher even. Oh no, never mind. That was a Brooklet Hill, not a stretcher. Well, no, never mind. It is triple stretcher. Puts the Gyarados into his hand. Evolves into Gyarados as expected. Attaches as expected. And then Sledgehammer next turn deals exactly 160, which is enough to get a KO. Unless he whiffs the knockouts, which is actually insane. This opens up a whole new dimension of opportunities. So definitely gonna go ahead and Guzma the Magikarp, right? And then I will also Stellar Wish for a Shrine. No, not a Shrine. I think establishing another Trubbish is better with the Nest Ball, right? Because Garbodor is the future, right? Garbodor is definitely our future. But now next turn, I could generally go after the Ninetales. So I'll go ahead and attach. And then, I mean, just imagine if my opponent whiffs again. That would be magical. But I don't have a target. Well, he might go for another Magikarp. No, there's no more Magikarps. Right? This has a Magikarp, this has a Magikarp. There's no more Magikarps. So which Buzzwole do I use? I think I'm going to use the damaged one so that he can activate Sledgehammer. And then now I'm ahead in the price trade-off. So I can't complain about that at all. Get a knockout. Get another N. N is definitely lackluster here as I am being very aggressive. And getting ahead in the price count. Now, no matter what he KOs, there's no way he can play around the Sledgehammer turn. And that's super important. He also has 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he wouldn't have knocked me out. And he just discarded a bunch of resources. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 item cards already. So we are good here. We are good. Plus he only has one Gyarados left, which is really good for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and Stellar Wish. I will grab Teammates, I feel. Yeah, Teammates is really good here because it guarantees the Rainbow Energy. Potentially for next turn. Well, is that really what I want though? I mean, probably not, but just having the Teammates is nice. I mean, in case he ends me, I'm gonna go ahead and discard these two. Just grab a guard, but I'm not gonna commit to either one. And then, maybe I should Teammates. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Teammates. I'm gonna Teammates for a Rainbow and a Shrine. Yeah, just to stop him from getting more stuff. In case he finds a stretcher. And then I'll go ahead and retreat. I am Sledgehammer turn. I really don't want to commit the Rainbow and the guard though. Because that way, if he has Guzma, no matter which Pokemon he goes after, I just evolve the other Trubbish and get the knockout that way. So I believe we are going to win this game. It was not looking great, but then the randomness of Gyarados' attack just isn't quite there. My opponent is playing a lot of stuff. Like, he's not playing the at least 20 energy you need to be playing in order to guarantee that Gyarados will do a lot of damage. He's just playing like maybe 10, maybe 12. So a super greedy list for sure. That is his last Gyarados though, so we should be fine. Well, I guess it's not his last Gyarados, but Brock's Grit doesn't really help him though. Brock's Grit at this point is just a little bit too slow here. right? Because he doesn't even have the Brooklet heal anymore. Sure, he puts back Magikarps and Gyarados. This is really awkward though, that Pidgeotto doesn't show you anymore what they put back. It should. Yeah. Okay, so now he gets the energies to knock me out. Also discards a Gyarados line that he just put back, which is fine. We'll promote the Jirachi, and then the N plus the KO here should 100% seal it for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and evolve. I'm gonna go ahead and attach. This might prompt a concession from my opponent. I will go ahead and set up another Trubbish for sure. And then I don't want to play the special charge for Strongs. I actually would want to get Rainbows back in any case, or just in case rather. I find a Guzma, I find another Jirachi, which is great. Really, really great. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Stellar Wish. I do want a a Sycamore, I would say. But the Guzma is game as long as my opponent doesn't heal my Garb, and there's I don't think any humanly possible way for him to knock out my Garb this upcoming turn. I will bench the other Jirachi just in case he does get knocked out. I can have double Jirachi next turn, and we are going to pull off this win very nicely. Very, very nicely. There's a Magikarp, there's a Magikarp. My opponent even promotes the Ninetales. And uses the ability, so I'll just promote my free retreat Jirachi. And just passes. So let's go ahead and Kukui. And then we shall retreat. I could just Stellar Wish for a Choice Band to do maximum damage. Not necessary. 300. Get a KO. And that's the game. So Gyarados is definitely not the most competitive deck. My opponent did get super greedy with his list. He wasn't playing, like his deck was flowing very nicely, and that's why his damage output was not quite up to par. And so that will be all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, Toronto either has started and I'm doing really well. Hope you guys can support me. I'll try to post as many updates on Twitter as I can, and Facebook, just like I did for Collinsville. I feel like that really helped me like stay focused and stay positive throughout the whole tournament. And I'm gonna give out the other two codes that I have for you guys. One is Forbidden Light, the other is Shining Legends. Good luck to whoever gets them. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.